Yes, here we are again, the final video of today. I just did the daily recap, the scoreboard, very short video. Not something happened, but yet again, overall, nothing much. Copper doing fantastic, by the way. And I did a video on across the board. I have some chart that can basically be described with roughly one trend line, and the importance of that, what could happen upon break or failure. Check it out. I think it's a new way of doing this. I haven't done it before. Let me know what you think if you are going to see that. One more thing to mention, as I just mentioned in the previous two videos, I will be moving the paid service YouTube over to SOXX at some point here. I'm not quite ready yet. Basically, to keep it very short, it's more easy for me, and I know a lot of people using SOXX, and it should be very easy to use. Therefore, that's why I'm doing it. So, but now this video, this very important. I think we skipped last week the ETF recap, where we're looking across the board ETFs. Where are we? What looks good, and so on a weekly basis with a 30 weekly moving average, and obviously some trend lines. Trend lines. I love trend lines, and so should you. They are very telling. Where are we? Good. You can see here we have a lot to go through. That's the plan. So you can skip if you're not interested in gold and silver. You can skip to whatever. That is the plan. We're zooming way out here. Long-term stuff. GDX looks short-term. We have come up quite far. I think 20%, 18. That's basically when. Let's zoom in. That's basically when gold broke out. The miners are just booming here. Overall, we have this blue internal wedge here. I think if we break there, it's a tag of the golden, which goes back even further. As you can see there, 2011 tag there. So if we break here, in my view, this one is also going to break. And gold miners is going to be the next big thing. Again, one line here on the GDX. The highs from 2020, we are basically right there. Just below, you can argue some inverted head and shoulder stuff, but again, the trend line, insanely well defined, clear stuff. Boom, boom, boom. And in my view, we are going to break that line very, very soon. This looks incredibly well for gold miners, right? Look at that. Oh, that's just fantastic. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm just going to look at it here. It's nice. It really looks like we want to have some good return of investment here when we break. Fantastic stuff. SILJ, also very nice, very nice. Not broken out yet, but we have that rail. It's more of a rail than a trend line, but they're basically the same. We checked the lower green, and now we're pounding. And basically silver is sitting, just below 25. So anything between 25 and the big number 26, that's when silver can go ballistic very quickly. In that zone, you don't know when it's going to happen. But again, above 26, that triggers a whole lot of other high targets. And silver was also in that video with the one-liner that is out just now. Check it out. SILJ, same thing. That's the triangle. That's what we're waiting for. A break there, and we are going to the red. And that's the fourth time I think we will be there. 1, 2, 3. A lot of stuff here, by the way. It should break there. Let's see how it reacts when and if we get there. But again, this should be a pause, and then we go higher. Again, if silver does what I think it will do here over the next few years, that's just looks incredible. URA, that's uranium. Very hated sector right now. Very, very hated. We're down 17% from that big level, 32. We have these. This is the weekly, so there's a lot of daily stuff going on, but the weekly trend line is here. The green one to hold, then we have the parallel over here. Again, that should be green. I'm not going to change it. Again, we took some heavy damage yesterday due to spot dropping $8 or so basically in one trade. But again, if we get back above that golden there and also the horizontal, game on uranium. What would and could be nice is actually if we just go sideways here for a bit and then boom, like an off ramp, boom, that would be nice. Yes, we have to wait a few months for that to happen. But again, from a technical point of view, touching there and then just having that mega ramp, we've seen it before, by the way, on different charts. I cannot just remember on top of my head. But again, uranium here, it doesn't look all that bad, guys, right? It doesn't, it's not the worst thing that you have seen. Again, short term here, a different thing. Long term, I'm still heavily bullish until proven otherwise, really. And we are not there yet. URNM, we have this purple, that's not purple, that's blue, uptrend. And we're basically on the daily, we're tagging it here, and we actually have a hammer candle on the daily. There it is, the hammer candle, boom. And also one important thing, we actually got above that pivot low there, barely. That's good. So as long as we hold this blue bad boy here, again, then we should break this green bull flag to the upside. So that trend line, insanely important for URNM. I haven't added in much here. Potentially, I have seen, again, I don't know if it is perfect. Again, I'm not the best guy to have these Vikov, accumulation and so on, but this could be distribution. Again, don't quote me on this. Again, it doesn't look that complete, but again, there are some things similar to Vikov distribution. Maybe again, I'm not a perfect guy to do that. There are way better people on Twitter with regarding to that. But basically, URNJ hammer candle here, and we closed back above the IPO, which, as you can see, is very important, that level to hold. Lithium daily, weekly. We got the bounce right there, as we discussed could happen. We're coming up here. We're not out of the woods yet right now. We have the 30 weekly coming down. We're still in a massive downtrend. So what I'm waiting for is to see basically when we get above that blue line there. So basically we have roughly let's call it 6 to 8 months still, hopefully, where we can do some bottoming of some degree and then break out. Right now we are at 45. The breakout will be roughly at 55. So again, you're paying a higher price, but also you're getting a bit of a bigger breakout. In my view, better to wait than have your money locked up for such a long time for only that 20%. If you get that, you could easily also start to break down. Then it's game over. But again, I like it here. I'm just waiting to get the confirmation here on the weekly. Lithium have had a big run, massive sideways to down correction, bear market, you can say. And we were just waiting for that next potential leg up there. EWC, that's Brazil. Massive breakout still. Basically just bullish sideways action here now. That should, again, I say should, resolve to the upside, depending somewhat on the dollar and what that is doing. But again, long term, we have broken some massive trend lines, and then that blue bad boy there looks incredibly, really good from a long-term perspective here. I am heavily positioned in this one for a longer-term play. Dividends nice, good. NVIDIA, actually, for some reason I don't have lines on here, but one line here I want to show you. Be careful. I'm not saying this is the top, but be careful. Oversold 90 on the weekly. Be careful. OIH, that's the oil service. Massive green option there. Broken, but again, in an orderly manner. It's not like you're just going to have an angle like 7 degrees down, and then that's a lot different. We actually broke out within the bull flag, and now we're breaking higher. That's pretty nice to see, obviously. No denying that. And also oil, as mentioned, I think is pointing to that we're getting into the 90s. And again, that could be, that it's very bullish for OIH. XOP, look at this, guys. Oof. Long term, left shoulder, head, and what's that? Oh, that's the right shoulder. If this plays out, we have a minimum target of 300, basically the highs over there. And that's, if you measure not the distance, but the value in dollar terms. On a log scale, you're pointing to a whole another league if you get there. But the importance right now, that's not that long-term target. That's this, pattern here. Breakout here should mean that we break out from the neckline. Very, very bullish. Massive move up, sideways action. It's beautiful. It's lovely. MSOS here, that's cannabis. Bit of an iffy one, but again, some people want to have it on. Basically breaking out here, making a new high, which is good. And now we're basically coming in for a big retest of the golden and the 30 weekly. So we have the stage 2 breakout attempt. Then we have the retest. And now we need the confirmation. Basically, when you clear that high there, you have the confirmation. And that's cannabis. That's cannabis. Also, we do have some sort of bottoming top roughly here, right? That low there, bit of a dip below there, pivot high, pivot high. So getting above 10 to 11, very important for the MSOS, whatever you want to call it. SOXX, semiconductors. What a bullish, trend channel we've been in for the past 15 years. That's just amazing. Again, if we are to, we do have some upside still if we are to get all the way up there. So yeah, that's basically, I don't have a, then you have some shorter term trend lines here. Right now we're basically, not going vertical, but definitely a very tight range, and breakdown there could potentially lead to, to move down to 171-ish. Very strong, man. I wish I were. Look at it here. The time to buy, when was it? In hindsight, that's not in hindsight. If we, have stopped the chart there, let's say, that's what we knew. We would be buying the heck out of that entry right there, right? That's not to play anything in hindsight. That's just beautiful. But that was before my time with regarding to trading. Man, I would, a time machine, that spot there, oof, a 10x, lovely. If you held it through, obviously, but still, that's just an amazing entry. It looks kind of like gold-ish, what we're doing right now with the gold, with that. So, fantastic. Fantastic. No, that's a bad joke. Solar, the ETF here, again, we have a big, to some degree, and then by no means an inverted head and shoulder. It's too skewed, the symmetry is bad, but again, it is there. The level there, 117, very important. Shorter term here, bull flag. Let's remove some of the lower levels there. We have a green support coming up here. Ideally, you maybe go sideways, maybe a big plunge, and then you have that off ramp, boom, breaking out the bull flag into the hundreds again. Right now, I'm not interested in. I want to see how this bull flag resolves. Ideally, we touch it there. That would be perfect. And then solar again could actually off ramp heavily to the upside. Right now, clear downtrend, but a well-defined downtrend, right? They're respecting the trend lines. That's good. XLE, oh, XLE. This is good. This is massive. XLE really wants to break the 2022 high there. Boom, boom, boom. And now we are roughly here at 93. The momentum is very strong short term. And again, oil looks really, really good. And that's maybe what we need here. Massive pull, flag. Again, if XLE starts to really break out here, it will pull uranium up due to the fact uranium is energy. So that entire energy complex should move big time. Big time. Here we have XLF. This is the financials. Again, I will lay flat down on the stomach and say I was very surprised on this breakout here. And we had the breakout, and now we're coming in for the T-fill here at roughly, the triangle fill at roughly 40, 41. What a strong trend here. But again, should you be a buyer here at roughly 80 on the RSI after that massive move? No. If you want to buy, I'm not saying we should, an idea could be to get back down to these levels here at roughly 36 to 35. Let the 30 weekly catch up a bit and then buy into that pullback, potential pullback. I don't know, it can go on forever, obviously, but again, buying the pullbacks is what you need to do here. We're clearly in a stage 2 uptrend, so buying pullbacks, you drop down 2 time frames daily, 4 hourly, and then you search for any potential bullish pattern and breakout confirmation. That could be whatever you please, but that is a rising wedge, so it should come down there a bit. It should. XLRE, that's the real estate sector. Massive breakout there, boom, above the 30 weekly, stage 2 breakout attempt. The pullback into the 30 weekly for the retest. Ideally, we would have had a retest. We kind of did on the shorter term, but anyways, And now we're coming back up again. Confirmation, take out that breakout high at roughly 41. And real estate, again, is in a massive stage 2 uptrend. Can you imagine real estate? Really? The chart never lies. XME, boom, breakout, retest, sideways action. Again, gold and silver. This is also a lot of iron and so on, but still looks incredibly well. Looks really, really good. You have a long-term trend line here as well coming down. Boom, massive breakout in December 2020. And now we have a minor breakout here again, which looks incredible. Above the 30 weekly. Yeah, it's fantastic. COPEX, again, copper, doing some amazing things at the moment, getting above that $4 level. Big stuff. And that you can easily see that in the price here on the COPEX. Trend line 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, 5. Massive breakout from a roughly 2-year-long resistance line there. We have the double top here at roughly 47. In my view, if copper does, continue here, we will get there, tiny pullback, and then boom, we go higher. The all-time highs is right there at 63. This looks really, really good. You can also see the 30 weekly here. So again, once we get the pullback at some point in time, that should be bought up, really, in my view. That's just, and as long as we're above here initially in the short term, it's all fine and good. Buy that pullback when we get it. It's just fantastic. Copper, I think it's shown in the chart or it's spoken in a video. We are now pointing to $5 copper. We're now at 4. Potentially, we have a massive, inclining resistance that goes to 7. Woo, $7. SPX here still looks really, really strong. I do fancy, I just saw that. Does this flag and pole, did we overshoot? Okay, so we have overshot a bit on that move there. So again, here, I think we're in for a breather. Heavy oversold there on the other RSI. And you can see if we zoom in as well, you can see we have a very slim. So it's very fragile right now, the SP 500, breaking down from that tiny, wedge or, channel to the upside. It doesn't take much to have a big move there, boom, down. So NASDAQ, same thing here. We have this tiny range. Again, I'm looking for a pullback. We've come down 4. I think we need to get down and retest, that all-time highs. We haven't really had that big test of the previous all-time highs, 2021, and then there we tagged it, but we basically blasted straight through. So we're going from 11,000 down to roughly 16.7. I mean, that's a tiny drop, but again, a needed technical pushback or a pullback into that to confirm it, and then maybe we go higher. Who knows? It's been crazy. Fan, this is wind. Basically, I will not go into too much detail, waiting for that blue line to hopefully resolve to the upside. That should, again, have the 30 weekly coming up, and you're in a stage 2. A one-liner chart, you basically just wait. We do have some longer-term trend lines here, there, meaning if we break there, the idea is we go to here. We are now at 15, and we could go potentially up to, depending on the speed of it, but again, to roughly 30. $30. That's a double. That's a double. Does it pay a dividend? 2%. Okay, I'll take it. Hydro, yikes, that's a massive downtrend here. We are seeing an internal squeeze here on that, falling golden channel there to the downside. So again, here you can see, I want to zoom in. I want to show you the daily. Why? Because of this. So you can see the green there coming down, the squeeze there on the top, and then you have the bottom here, roughly here. Again, that could potentially be, if you break out there, that could be a buy, stop below. That could be in for a big move to the upside. Basically breaking out before having a big pullback. And that's ideally where you want to buy, that big breakout in the first pullback, 30 weekly right here. But again, for now, it's heavily down. I'm just, trying to give ideas what could happen there. But definitely we're squeezing up in a falling wedge. Usually they blast higher, or they break out at least. Last but not least, we have the WTIA. I don't want to say that long name because then I will just break my jaw, by the way. Massive stage 2 uptrend here still. And so this is basically artificial intelligence we're kind of losing momentum here a bit, so I don't know what to make of that. But still, the 30 weekly is coming up. But again, we're kind of having like a grinding upside there, and usually at some point they will have to reconnect or reassert itself. But again, this is not a sector that I'm in. The only reason why I was interested in it was because one guy, mentioned it, and I saw that inverted head and shoulders, which was very intriguing. Then we had that big drop actually down to the right shoulder level, and then we came higher. So that's the only reason. And AI and all that good stuff is still, very, very hyped. Not hyped, but it's still on everyone's lips still. Well, that is it. We did 25 charts roughly. Beautiful. Again, if you like what you see, guys, like, subscribe. I love doing these videos, and I appreciate the comments and all that good stuff. I love this community. It has been, a truly life-changing experience for me from a personal level, doing these things for you guys. It had helped me tremendously, and I'm just glad that you're all here. Have a great day, guys. And yeah, tomorrow, Friday, last day of the week, but we will have the weekly close. Uranium, gold, silver, copper. Oh, copper looks fantastic. Guys, have a great evening. Bye.